Hi class, and welcome back to Mr. Poole's online learning and math class. And today we're going to talk about four properties. One is called the distributive property, one is called the commutative property, the next one is the associative property, and then the zero property. Okay, we're going to start off with the distributive property because this gets us into how we're going to multiply. And in fact, if it's multiplying like a 2 or 3 digit number by a 1 digit number. So that's why I'm having you study your multiplication facts, because you need to know this to do this distributive property. So let's say we had a number like 15 times, let's do 6. Okay. What it's saying in the distributive property is I'm going to multiply this digit by the ones place up here, the 5, and then I'm going to multiply it by the 1 in the 10 spot. So I'm going to multiply it times this, and then times this. So first times this, then I'm going to multiply it times this. Okay, so this times this is 30. We're going to put down the 1s. We're going to carry the 10s up here. Now I'm going to multiply 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 3 would be 9. And I get 90 as my answer. And that's how the distributive property works. It multiplies this times this, then it multiplies this times this. So it goes like this. It goes this times this, then this times this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and erase those arrows. And let's just erase this whole problem. And let's try it times a 3-digit number. So let's say we have 124 times 5. Okay, so now I'm going to distribute it to all of the place values. I'm going to distribute this 5, which we're multiplying by, to the 1s, to the 10s, and then to the 100s, okay? So first, 5 times 4 is 20. Very good. You put the 0 down, you carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 2. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 2 gets me 12. So I'm going to put the 2 down. I'm going to carry the 10s up here. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So there's my answer. 124 times 5 would be 620. That is using the distributive property. I'm distributing that to each of the place values. All right, now the commutative property is a pretty simple one. It's pretty simple. It means if you have 8 times 5, and that equals 40, then if I switch these numbers around, if I change them, it's still going to equal 40. So that would mean 5 times 8 equals 40. Okay, does that make sense? So it means if I switch these around, it's still going to work. Okay, now it works for multiplication. Let's switch them around for addition. What do we get there? 13, and we get 13. Does it work for addition? Yes. So commutative works for multiplication, and it works for addition. Okay. Let's see if it works for subtraction. Okay, 8 minus 5 is 3. 5 minus 8, we can't do that, can we? If we only have 5, we can't take 8 away from it if we only have 5. So this we cannot do. We can't do that. and those aren't going to get the same answer. So it doesn't work for subtraction, and it also doesn't work for division either. So it only works, the commutative property only works on multiplication and addition. So that's the commutative property. I'll put it back up here again. 8 times 5 equals 40. 5 times 8 equals 40. So that's the commutative property, and that works with addition and multiplication. Okay, how about the associative property? Let's see if that works. So let's do 5 plus 2. Let's do this. Okay, 5 plus 2 times 6. Or if we change it around, if I do 5 plus 2 times 6. Okay, so let's see if these are the same. Okay, let's change these. These should all be plus, sorry, my fault. Those should all be plus. So those should all be addition. And I don't need that there. So let's see what this equals. So the parentheses means do that one first. So what's 6 plus 2? That's 8, right? Plus 5 is 13. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 6 equals 13. Okay, so therefore it works for addition. Okay, and I'll just give you a hint, it works for multiplication also. So it works for addition, it works for multiplication. Do you think it works for subtraction? No, it does not work for subtraction. Okay, so you're right, it doesn't work for subtraction, and it doesn't work for division either. So it only works on addition and multiplication. So that means I can put my addition in any order. I can put them in any order. I can add any one first, and it'll still come out to the same answer. Okay, so we have the distributive property, the commutative property, the associative property, and then the zero property. The zero property is the easiest because that means if I multiply anything, any number that you can think of, times 0, it's always 0. Okay, so if I do 52 times 0, what is it? 0, right? It's always 0. I used to kid around with my son back when he was about 5 years old. I told him about the zero property, and I said anything you multiply times 0 is 0. So I would quiz him every once in a while. I would go, hey Kason, see if you can get this multiplication problem right. And you know, he knew his multiplication facts, so he thought he was pretty smart. So I said, okay, what's 1 million? And he said, wait, Dad, I can't multiply 1 million times something. And I said, well, 1 million times 0. And then he said, 0. Okay, I couldn't trick him because he knew anything times 0 is 0. So even if I said 528,650 times 0, what is it? You're right, it's 0. Okay, so this one's pretty easy to understand. Anything times 0 equals 0. Okay, all right. Hopefully these make sense. If not, go back and watch my video again, and hopefully the second time through, it'll start to sink in. These properties you're gonna have up until you're in high school. And even in college, you'll deal with the distributive, commutative, associative, and the zero property. All right, guys, have a good day learning.